Border closure forces Venezuelan kids to make perilous treks. Plainview Daily Herald. Marco Alvarez and Christine Armario, Associated Press. Cucuta, Colombia. AP. The sun had just begun to rise when Euroladies Rojas and her young daughter began trekking along one of the illegal dirt pathways that have become a perilous lifeline for Venezuelans no longer able to cross blocked border bridges. As they reached the muddy Tachita River, they joined dozens of other Venezuelan students boarding makeshift wooden rafts intent on getting into Colombia to accomplish a simple childhood goal: going to school. The closure of Venezuela's border with Colombia is exacting a heavy toll on the thousands who have grown to rely on the neighboring Andean nation for everything from chemotherapy to food as their homeland's humanitarian crisis worsens. On a typical day, over 30,000 Venezuelans used to cross the two bridges into the bustling Colombian border city of Cucuta, but both have been closed since the opposition's failed bid to drive through trucks filled with US-donated aid over a week ago. Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro dismissed the aid push as a US-backed attempt to remove him from power and responded by severing ties with Colombia, where tons of undelivered aid is being stored. What has followed is complicating the ordeal is the lack of communication between Venezuelan and Colombian authorities amid the diplomatic strife. Colombian President Iván Duque has joined 50 other nations in recognizing opposition leader Juan Guaidó as Venezuela's rightful president, but the military is standing with Maduro and the bridges remain closed. Felipe Muñoz, Venezuela opposition leaders, meanwhile, are looking to go through outside organizations like the Red Cross in appealing for their assistance in securing the safe passage of children and vulnerable adults and reopening the border. Lives. Colombia and Venezuela have a porous 1,370-mile (2,200-kilometer) border where illegal armed groups charge for passage. Numerous rights groups, an estimated 3,200 Venezuelan school children cross the border to attend school in Colombia, where many parents believe they will get a better quality education, not to mention at least one meal, sometimes the only one they'll get in a day. Crossing hand in hand, the students stand out in their plaid uniforms and knee-high socks amid the swell of people carrying bundles of goods like rice and toilet paper and suitcases with their lives' belongings. It's not the first time the border has been closed. Maduro ordered Mate Victor Batista, a Colombian official handling response to emergency border issues, said the current shutdown is considerably graver because authorities have not been able to negotiate the entry of students and ill patients as they did in 2015. A small delegation that included an official from Colombia's Civil Defense Service approached a line of Venezuelan National Guardsmen stationed at one of the bridges last week when the bridges were due to reopen after the scuttled humanitarian aid push. Batista said the delegation asked them about reopening the border or allowing neutral human rights groups to facilitate communication, but were told all orders had to come from Caracas. Humanitarian advocates like the International Rescue Committee say they have already seen a dip in the number of Venezuelans participating in services like psychological counseling and medical screenings for pregnant women. Marianne Menjivar, the group's Venezuela and Colombia director, said reports of sexual violence against those passing through the illegal pathways known as trocas is also worrying, even more so considering that many children are now crossing. Absent a resolution, parents like Yorli Carrillo say they are willing to take chances to ensure their children get an education.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.